Hello everyone, we are back for yet another VGC battle video. Thanks for tuning in again. My name is Marcus and today we'll be using the same team that I also used in the previous episode, consisting of Amoonguss, Mega Gardevoir, Entei, Aegislash, Thundurus and Landorus Therian form. Last time we had one victory and one loss, so let's see if we can maybe improve that record a little bit in today's episode. We're still at a rating at around 1750, so not too shabby. Let's see if we can get some high rated opponents for today's episode. I'm still using the exact same team, same sets, substitute leftovers Entei, Rocky Helmet, Amoonguss, Mega Guardy with max speed and hidden power ground, substitute lefties, weakness policy Aegislash actually. Substitute leftovers Aegislash, probably my favorite set, but yeah, we can use that because we already have that on Entei. And then it is Citrus Berry, Thundurus, and Salt Vest Landorus T. So we found an opponent from Japan, rated 1601, and their team is going to be Cresselia, Landorus T, Arcanine, Thundurus, Breloom, and Mega Kangaskhan. So we do have the double genie in common, but except for that, different ones, but still pretty commonish. I do think Entei is a pretty decent lead here, as it completely walls the Breloom and can set up a substitute before it goes for a Spore. My opponent might want to lead with his Arcanine here, as it has a pretty decent matchup versus my whole team. Between Intimidate and Snarl, it can lower the attack of all of my mons, and so it might be a good choice. However, I think I could capitalize on that, and maybe I could lead with my Aegislash actually, and try to grab a boost from the Arcanine right there. I think if he brings Breloom, then he's probably also going to lead it, so that wouldn't be too great for my Aegislash, as, yeah, Breloom faster and can just Spore even through King's Shield, so that's not an ideal matchup you want to face. Okay, so I definitely think we want to bring Aegislash and Guardy to this matchup. But what else do we want to bring? I think Landorus is also a pretty solid pick because it fares well against the Kangaskhan with Intimidate and Superpower. Intimidates the opposing Landorus too and can knock off the Cresselia. Luckily, my team's Mega is special based here, so his double Intimidate is probably not going to do too much, though it's definitely still annoying for my Landorus and Entei. We could lead with Guardy and Aegislash, I guess. We could also lead with Thundurus to try and counter, or I think we just go with the same lead from last episode. In the first game where I led with Entei and Aegislash. I really like that lead against Kangaskhan teams because you immediately threaten them with Sacred Fire and potentially get the burn. If you want to, you can switch into your Landorus, get out the Intimidate, and so on and so on. At first I wanted to lead with Guardian Aegislash, but then I realized that against his Arcanine I can't really do too much, and his Breloom could also be a little bit annoying with Spore, so went with this, and he goes for Landorus and Kangaskhan lead, which is fine by me. I mean, his Intimidate is a little bit annoying for my Entei, obviously, but depending on his sets, Entei is probably the fastest one on the field right now, since I am a jolly max speed, unless he's Choice Scarf, and I didn't actually pay attention about my pressure, which is a very bad mistake you should never make when playing with Entei, because upon the abilities activating, you can actually see whether the opposing Landorus T is Choice Scarf or not. However, I'm pretty sure that we saw pressure grow off first before Intimidate, so I guess I'm faster. But I don't think we'll find out this turn because I just want to switch out Entei into Landorus, I think. Just so that I get off an Intimidate. I could also go for Protect though with Entei and just attack with the Aegislash. That might actually be also a good call. Yeah, you know what? I'll protect Entei and go for a Flash Cannon on his Kangaskhan. So his options are going for a Scrappy Fake Out, but fortunately he doesn't do that as he just went for the Mega Evolution. He could try to double up into Aegislash with Knock Off and Sucker Punch to prevent me from attacking, but let's hope he didn't do that. And we actually do see the knockoff, but no Sucker Punch, so Aegislash should be fine for the turn, unless his Kangaskhan is a Crunch variant, which I didn't see too often in the past. And it just went for the return and Entei, so that's fine. Good thing we didn't switch into Landorus. It would have helped versus the knockoff from Landorus, but yeah, I really didn't want to take the return from Kangaskhan, because even at -1 that still does a hell of a lot of damage. And +2 Flash Cannon is able to knock out this Kangaskhan, unlike in the other episode where we just came short. So as you can see, it basically comes down to rolls or how bulky their Kangaskhan is EV trained, but generally you're basically guaranteed to do a lot of damage with that Aegislash. For the next turn, I think his Landorus is in a decent position, because it can hit both my Aegislash and Entei for super effective damage. As he brings out Arcanine, nice pick. Both here we're out there with our Fire Dogs, so that's an interesting dynamic. Or Fire Cat, depending on whether you think that the legendary trio of Entei, Suicune, and Raikou is based on dogs or cats. I don't really care too much, to be honest. Okay, so I could switch into my Landorus with Aegislash, however, that would give up the +2 boost from Weakness Policy. I could also bring in Guardy, because with my ability, I would copy, with Trace, I would copy Intimidate for sure, since both of his mons have Intimidate, unless he switches out before me, but Entei probably the fastest thing on the field right now, so I could definitely go out there and, yeah, get that Intimidate off. That would be interesting played, actually. Or I could go for... Yeah, I think what I want to do... Okay, I went for Sacred Fire here on his Landorus and Wide Guard, predicting him to go for an Earthquake right here. As he switches into Cresselia, that might be an indication that that is exactly what he wants to do. And yep, we do see me being faster, but Sacred Fire misses, which is unfortunate, but I really wanted to fish for the burn right there anyway, and Earthquake goes into the Wide Guard. Well, Entei, still in a decent position, but yeah, being at -2 attack, it won't do too much damage anyway, so I could just stay in and fish for more burns, or like start with more Sacred Fires. I think he really needs to go for the Aegislash with his Landorus, because it's just so threatening to eat that +2 Shadow Ball with his Cresselia. So maybe he'll just go for another Earthquake. Or he could go for a knockoff. Either way. I think I want to switch Entei into Guardy though. It doesn't really matter which ability I should trace, because Levitate would allow me to dodge the potential Earthquake, and Intimidate would obviously lower his Landorus attack stat. I also went for a Shadow Ball right here on his Cresselia, because maybe he could switch out his Lando, and we do trace Intimidate, which is nice. Maybe he'll switch out his Lando, but he could also just go for a knockoff. But yes, he switches out Lando, which is good, unless his Cresselia is somehow able to KO my Aegislash. As another Intimidate goes off, but that doesn't really matter. And he goes for Psychic onto the Aegislash. Let's see if we can live that. And yep, we can. So great turn right here. I get off the Shadow Ball onto the Cresselia. That could potentially KO. And it does, so probably not a special defensive variant, but Aegislash is also just so strong, so nice KO, and now we're in a very good lead position. Both his mons are probably weak to Intimidate. We don't know about the Arcanine, maybe it's a special set, but I do have Landorus in the back, and if I decide to switch back my Guardy, I'm guaranteed to trace Intimidate too, so that means that I can basically just switch out Guardy right now into my Landorus for the Intimidate. I think I'll just sacrifice Aegislash, because... Or I could also go for a King Shield and then... Well, we do have a very good position, so let's not blow this right here. Yeah, it depends on his moveset really. If he does have like Snarl on his on his Arcanine, or I don't know, Flamethrower, then Aegislash is like pretty easy to take down anyway. Yeah, I think I'll go for the King's Shield and just, yeah, maintain my lead, and so I can potentially switch around a little bit more, get off more Intimidates, check for the Arcanine's moveset, because maybe I could still, I don't know, go for a White Guard with Aegislash and be helpful that way, so I just don't want to sack it right here. Maybe he goes for a Will-O-Wisp, which would also be a pretty nice play. But let's see. Ooh, and he actually goes for the Flare Blitz, so it is a physical variant. That should do some nice damage, even though he's at -1, depending on his item. And he went for a knockoff into the Aegislash, which is perfect, because now we do get the -2 on the Landorus, so Landorus is basically useless right now. But his Arcanine can still deal some nice damage. I do have to watch out a little bit for that. Right now my main goal is just to get rid of the Arcanine, because as I said, Landorus is pretty useless, but you know, you can always go for the Rock Slides. So that might be a thing. Well, Flare Blitz shouldn't KO my Landorus, so we should be fine unless his Landorus is max speed Jolly and speed ties and wins the speed tie. But we should be fine just going for a double attack on the Arcanine, I think. Oh, and he just forfeits. Okay. So, yeah, I realized that there was not really much going on for him. As I said, my Guardy with Trace was guaranteed to Trace Intimidate, and then Arcanine at -2, Landorus at -4. That wouldn't deal too much damage. So, yeah, then Entei, he didn't see my item, but it was left over, so that, yeah, I wouldn't have had any problems taking this game. So, good first game for this team. And our rating now is 1764, which is kind of nice. I think that's like second place in Germany, but we go for more. We want to get first place, and we do meet a Japanese player with a higher rating, not higher than me, but higher than our past 3 opponents in Battle Spot. And his team is pretty interesting. We do see Whimsicott, Gengar, Sableye, Heatran, Terrakion, and Empoleon. Okay. So Gengar, presumably the Mega Evolution, unless it is like Mega Sableye, I don't know. He does have Empoleon, which is interesting. Empoleon could have the ability Defiant, boost its attack stat by 2 stages, if it gets like, I don't know, Icy Winded, or obviously to counter Intimidate as well. But Empoleon, not a very strong Pokemon. I mean, I think it did win some tournaments back in 2009. As well as the World Championship, for example, but after that it kind of, yeah, wasn't seen too much anymore, for a good reason. But let's see if my opponent can make it work right here. I think I do want to lead with Thundurus. I don't have Taunt, unfortunately, but Thunder Wave and Swagger, always a good thing to have against those pesky Mega Gengar teams. I also kind of want to lead with Landorus, but then the Empoleon scares me away, because I don't really know what to expect from it at all. Entei could also be a nice pick now that I think about it, but his Terrakion lead would then counter my Entei plus Thundurus. I guess I could always just go for Aegislash if I really wanted to, just to deal some damage. Yeah, I think I'd go with Aegislash and then have Landorus and Guardy in the back. Guardy probably not the best choice right here, but I still think that I need something versus the Sableye and the Terrakion. And if there's like Empoleon next to it, and I'm not sure how much Empoleon can do, but if it's like Sword Dance Aqua Jet at +3, it might probably KO Landorus. So then that would leave me without a reliable way of taking out, I don't know, Gengar plus Terrakion. So, I don't know, I never played against Empoleon before, I think. Maybe I did on like low ladder, but not from versus someone who's like competent. And yeah, that guy's rating really showed that he has some idea about what he's doing, so let's figure out what it is. He sends out Sableye and Whimsicott, so maybe it might be Mega Sableye after all, but that would be really be a little bit random, because Mega Sableye, what it is, it can be cool. Oh, unless this is like, I don't know, some crazy, I don't know, bulky Sableye with Whole Mind Recover and so on. But even that is not as good in doubles as it is in singles, so yeah, I think this should be a Mega Gengar team. Though normally people like to lead their Mega Gengar. Um, hmm. Could switch into Guardy and trace Prankster, but that doesn't really help me. Yeah, since this Thundurus doesn't have Taunt, my best option right here is probably just go for a T-Wave. Or I could go on the offensive. I think I want to do that, actually. Yeah, I'll just try to go for the Sableye here with T-Ball and Shadow Ball. And it is Mega Sableye. Okay, I stand corrected. Whew, okay. Now I'm even more interested in seeing what his strategy is about. And he protects with Whimsicott. Okay, so as long as he doesn't protect Sableye right now. Ooh, Gravity. Oh, that might be Grass with Whimsicott. That's not something you want to face. Okay, now let's think about the Empoleon. Under Gravity, does it make more sense? Could it be like Blizzard? Does Empoleon have any cool moves it can abuse under Gravity? Oh, and Sableye is able to take that pretty well. Okay, so Sableye probably going for a Recover right here, maybe. Or Protect potentially, and his Whimsicott I do expect to go for a Grass Whistle. Grass Whistle obviously very bad move, only 55% accuracy, but under Gravity it suddenly becomes a +1 sleep-inducing move, +1 priority that is. So that could definitely help my opponent right here. I think I do want to get off the T-Wave Swagger combo on his Whimsicott. And I could just Shadow Ball the Sableye. I'm not sure about how slow people tend to use their Mega Sableyes. But if it's faster and goes for a foul play, that would be bad. But I don't want to like get my Thundurus taunted, being put to sleep right here, and then next turn he can just Grass Whistle my Aegislash. And he switches into Rakian, so maybe that's also some kind of beat-up combo, but yep, there is the Grass Whistle. And he puts Thundurus to sleep. Okay, so at least I do get off a Shadow Ball. In hindsight, I could have gone for a Flash Cannon, probably, in anticipation of potential Rakian switching, but I didn't do that. So, yeah, that does some nice damage. But, as this, sorry, my cam lagged there for a little bit. I hope it wasn't too long. Okay, so Thundurus is put to sleep, and most likely we're going to see some kind of beat-up thing right here. Probably beat-up Rock Slide. I could go for a White Guard right here, but he could also just go for a Grass Whistle. I'm not sure if you would run Terrakion with Lumberry on those teams, but it definitely makes more sense than Sash if you run Beat Up. But it could also be just a Whimsicott that doesn't even run Beat Up, because we saw Protect, we saw Grass Whistle, most likely Encore too. So yeah, not really too much. Yeah, I think I just go for the White Guard, and maybe my Thundurus gets lucky and I wake up. But his Hurricane can't really deal too much damage to Aegislash, and we'll just get off a White Guard at least this turn. Though no burn sleep turn, which is also something to consider. Oh, and he has Stone Edge. Wow, okay. Did not expect that. One-hit KO Thundurus. And as I said, yeah, since I went before the Whimsicott, before I was being put to sleep, right now that also means that Aegislash has a guaranteed sleep turn next turn. And there's not really much I can do. I'm going into Landorus right here for the Intimidate, but he can just Grass Whistle that. Yeah, I mean, thinking about it again, Stone Edge probably a good choice if you're going with Gravity anyway. I mean, you can bypass White Guard and you're guaranteed to hit under Gravity, so yeah, really props to my opponent making this thing work. Amoonguss really could have been good right here, being immune to Grass Whistle, but yeah, we did not bring that. So Yeah, and something to note right here is that since Aegislash has to sleep anyway, you can just go for a King Shoot that turn, always, since it changes its form even if it's put to sleep, so just to take less damage in case you wanted to go for, I don't know, Earthquake or what do I know. He just goes for another Grass Whistle, so Landorus is now also asleep. Hey. Okay. But right now, both my mons have a chance to wake up next turn. This gravity is still going on. This Gengar is probably his like only damage dealer. Now, do I want to go after the Whimsicott or after the Gengar? I do have Guardian in the back, so I can probably handle the Terrakion in 1v1. Though he could also just Encore me with Whimsicott. Yeah, but he wouldn't do that, would he? No. Encore disable? I don't know, I'll go for Rock Slide and Shadow Ball in the Gengar. Oh, but he just Encores, yeah. Oh, and Hex, okay. Interesting move. I think... Oh, critical hit. Hex 65 base power, but double space power if the Pokemon has a status condition. Yeah. Yeah, that was not a very good play by me. Going for the attack there. I should have predicted the Encore. So he's actually Life Orb Gengar, and so since I was asleep, Hex 2 times, yeah, like base power 130 and then plus stab plus Life Orb. But I'm pretty sure I would have lived since I'm Assault Vest. But with that critical hit, he really got me. So yes, Aegislash can't really do much. Yeah, I think he can just go for a Protect with Gengar and Grass Whistle. So I try to predict that and go for the Hyper Voice, instead of the Psychic on the Gengar. But I really don't think there's anything we can do at this point. Always so heartbreaking when you listen to strategies like this. And we didn't get the worst turn 1 either. I mean, we did get the double target on the Sableye when he just attacks. Okay, Moonblast. So his full moveset is Protect, Grass Whistle, Moonblast, and Encore. So no beat up after all. Okay, and he just takes out my Guardy with Moonblast and Sludge Bomb, and that means we lose this game. Interesting team. I'm really interested in seeing what the Empoleon could have done, so I check its moves afterwards if there's something it can really do under gravity. I don't know. But yeah, we got demolished right here. I could have probably led with Entei and then gone for more like Sacred Fires, or I could have put up a substitute and then protect the Encore, but then still like Encore is pretty annoying to deal with. I should have gone for the Whimsicott quicker maybe. Like the turn I Shadow Balled into the Sableye, I could have Flash Cannon into the Whimsicott like the second turn, but maybe he's Focus Sash anyway, and yeah, you know. But okay, cool game nevertheless. Learned something new right here. Mega Sableye, Gravity, and then Grass with Whimsicott. Cool combination. I'll definitely look out for that in future games. I hope you also learned something from this video. Have you ever encountered a strategy like this? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any criticism whatsoever, and if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you did not yet. I'll put a paste bin of this team in the description as well, so if you want to try it out for yourself, go there. The EV streets are pretty basic. I think it's 252 on all 5 mons except for the Entei, where I use the EV spread that was recommended by 3-time world champion Ray Rizzo in one of his videos. I'll also link that in the description. And unfortunately, once again, we went 1-1, one win, one loss in an episode like this, but I'll use a different team the next time we go in Battle Squad and then play some friends with other teams. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and have a great day, good night, wherever you are, and see you next time. Bye.